Yeah, I'll turn it on. You want it off? Are you saying it's not very warm? Jack, you want to turn it off? Okay. Okay, anytime. Okay, we're going to start on my extreme left over here. Clear your throat, please.
Excuse me?
Clear your throat.
Okay.
In the middle section.
Can we hear from those in the back?
Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
I'm Lee Barrows.
And you absolutely have no idea where I'm going every morning because I don't.
Well,
If y'all
I
can
feel that way every
if y'all
day.
can join us and tell me in the mornings before we get on the air where I'm going, which way I should be going, let me know.
I don't know.
I have
I
no clue.
still want to talk about the squirrels some more.
Oh, no.
He was telling stories about squirrels this morning. I was like,
Well,
what?
squirrels, squirrels and rice, but summertime you don't do. You're not. There's too many bugs hanging around.
Oh,
Got to be cold weather before you do hunting for squirrels.
I don't hunt for anything
I don't, yeah,
Unless
except for money. That's the only thing I hunt for.
How do you eat steak?
What?
I
That's
don't hunt with
different.
First
Is
of
it-
all, I don't eat steak.
You
It's
don't
in a
eat steak?
package.
When I did eat steak, I didn't hunt for it.
Well, look, it's in a package. It's in the grocery store. You don't think of it as moo. You
Mm-mm.
think of it as a piece of meat. You know?
Well, here's worse. So, when I go out to a farm and I look there and I look at the eyes and all that sort of good stuff, I just make sure that that one looks good. And I tell the butcher, this is the one that I want.
I miss having a meat market here in Jacksonville.
So do I.
Remember the community meat market on Funny Green?
Yeah, Mr. Morton.
Yes, Mr. Morton. You could go down there and shoo.
Yeah, the meat didn't come prepackaged from somewhere else, another part of the world. God gracious. And you don't even know where it's coming from. I'll tell you. It's whatever. Okay. It's a Thursday. It's actually Friday Eve, and it's
Yes.
also Cardinal Eve.
I'm so excited.
So
Tomorrow
am I.
we're all going to wear our red sweatshirts, right?
Yeah, wow.
That's right.
And tomorrow night, going to wear a red sweatshirt.
We're going to
again.
send a picture to Principal Herman.
Yeah, well, we might be able to show her. I don't know whether she's going to be there or not. I hope so.
Yeah.
I know a
Cool.
superintendent's going to be there.
Yes, he is.
So, and I know a lot of other folks are saying they're going to get a bus or something
Yeah, there was talk about it, but I've not heard anything since then. I've not seen anything
official.
official. I mean, I've followed the Booster Club and several other Jacksonville High.
Well, I hope as many
pages.
people as can. I hope the same group, at least that many from last weekend
so
in
excited.
Havelock show up because
Yeah.
that was a fun group. Let me tell you
I'm
what.
hearing a lot of things about Havelock, but that doesn't
And I
mean that we're going to get out there and kick butt. That's
Oh
all.
no, it doesn't. We got to do what we can do, but we're
Yep.
going armed and dangerous. Hopefully so.
Without hot
I came up with a new
chocolate.
cheer for the
These people
for the
on the
cheerleaders
hot
if they want to
chocolate.
do that. I hope the cheerleaders show up tomorrow night. They didn't go last week. Some of these it costs money.
Yes,
But,
it does.
we do need the cheerleaders out there though.
I still think
here's my new cheer for them. We are your Cardinals, your mighty, mighty Cardinals, and we are here to fight, fight, fight.
play YMCA too, and everybody get.
No,
Well, you said fight, fight, fight. So
well. It is what it is. Okay, got some news this morning. First of all,
Yes.
Jacksonville police say the remains of a person were recovered at a construction site along the Gum Branch Road yesterday afternoon. The body was found in a sediment pond at the site. The remains have been sent to the state medical examiner for identification and cause of death. The whereabouts, by the way, of one young man missing in that general area for the past couple of months are
Yeah.
still unknown. Detectives are still investigating that case. So
God bless
we'll find
him.
out more here. It
Yes.
may take a week or so for that to happen.
And we're still waiting word on the bones that
Yep.
were found right in the city limits.
They sent them out because they thought that they were human remains, but I have not heard anything
haven't
else.
heard
So I
anything
don't
else.
know. We'll have to do a follow up on
This
that
is
one.
horrible, and it's so sad about the discovery of the latest human remains, the
Mhm.
body, because
You just got a feeling, I know.
I have a feeling like we talked about this morning that it's going to be that young man that's been missing, and just breaks my heart.
Went to Mike's farm with the
Women's club.
Crystal Coast Women's Club. My wife is the
Yes.
El Presidente, or
Yes, she
chairperson,
is.
or whatever they call them. I think is El Presidente.
Yes.
That's what she makes me. But
She's very good at coordinating and.
I have to sing the theme for the president coming into the office every time she shows up.
Oh, I
so-
see.
I didn't know they had words,
Right.
so I make them up.
Oh gosh.
But anyway, she included me in the group that went yesterday afternoon. Yeah. Well, let me tell you what, I did not know supper when I got home.
Good eats. Good
Well,
eats over
how
there.
could you after eating there?
Well, one of the young ladies who sat down beside me, she and her husband, I got through and she said, "You didn't like it, did you?" And I said, "No, I'm going to go try again to make sure." So I went and got another plate. She said, "It must be good." I said, "It is good."
I haven't been in quite a long time.
How do you
but
go wrong with, first of all, gravy? So there was
Mm.
gravy there
Mm.
that
love
had
me some
stuff in it.
gravy.
And then there
Yes.
was chicken. Lots and lots of fried chicken.
Oh, I love
don't
fried chicken.
I don't get fried chicken very often because Robbie doesn't want fried chicken. But I got chicken leg a couple times. And then what is really good on chicken is to pull that stuff off the bone instead of picking it up and eating it,
Right.
and then mix it in with the gravy.
Oh yeah.
Along with the smashed taters. The smashed taters are so smooth.
Oh,
They
yes.
were smoother than the smoothest velvet
The last time I
ice cream
went,
I've ever had.
I just remember getting food in a bucket.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I used a plate.
It came in a bucket. I remember that. It's been so long.
Well, this was this is an early one, and it was a part of the show,
Oh, y'all went to the show.
the ho ho show.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that.
They kept saying ho ho, and I kept looking. I said,
Don't
You're
say
unreal.
it.
I didn't
Don't
say
say it.
anything. They were ho
Don't
ho
say
ho all
anything.
the time. And,
We hens were not there.
well, the other hens were, lots of them. But the place was full of people, and good people.
Yes.
Everybody's polite and nice to each other, and no food fights.
The light show is beautiful, isn't it?
I don't know.
Did you not ride it?
Ride
Ride the wagon, the hay wagon?
They were
through?
there during the day, so it wouldn't have been. a
Oh,
light
it
show.
was dark by the
Oh,
time
was
we
it?
left.
Okay.
Howsoever, did you not look at radar?
I
don't
know,
know what y'all
I
had
kept
going
looking,
on,
but
but it was rain and wind.
I didn't get
And
Hardly
there to
nothing.
take care of it. I had to back the car out when we left because the little spot there that was damp when we pulled in
yes.
Was a
was
puddle.
deep when I
Wow.
got ready to pull out. So I didn't make
Wow.
Robbie walking her through the mud.
Well, I got very little at my house, a little bit of rain, and the winds, like when you said there was 42-mile-an-hour gust here,
It was pretty
I was-
heavy gust here
my
last
gusts
night.
were 8 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So,
My gust must have been 100 based on some of my yard stuff and what was on my front porch.
That's where I used to be. Is it
Yeah.
on your neighbor's front porch now?
No, it's just on the ground, but my little blow uppy Santa was wrapped around my rose bush. So he's on the porch. I'll have to fix him later.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
he's still there anyway. That's
I'm
good.
surprised, yeah. Because here's the thing, he was staked into the ground.
hmm
But he wasn't when I got home from work yesterday.
I
I
had
tell you
two
what to do.
metal mooses out here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They were both laying on their sides.
Oof.
Your doggy's still on its side out there.
Are you still down? Oh,
Yeah.
poor
Yeah.
doggy. I'll have to straighten him
Pup
up.
down.
That's like,
And I had the star up on the tree. I had to take that whole pole down because it came tumbling down.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Not the pole,
But the star. Yeah.
but now it won't come off that pole. Forget about tape and stuff like
Right.
that. The stuff that they say use. No, I tied it to the pole in 3 places.
well, when I put up my 8-foot windmill, it comes with stakes. No, I went to a sports store here in Jacksonville and got those huge tent stakes
Yes.
that you have
screw
to,
into the
you
ground.
screw it. And I'm gonna tell you what, nothing's coming out.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Hey, before I go on,
I'm gonna get 'em
for
from
you
my
boaters
house.
out there who like to do sandbars and stuff like that.
Oh,
you
yes.
get out there, you tie your boat up to the sandbar, you anchor it off the beach, the sandbar. Please anchor it away from the sandbar and pick your time of day
Yes.
and know what the tides are.
Yes.
Otherwise, you could be there for a long time.
And those tides come in, that sandboard that you
Yeah, well,
anchor to is not
what's
there.
worse is if you go in there on really low tide in the sandbar, and or if you go there on high tide
Yes.
and the water leaves,
Yes.
and
You're
when
stuck.
you get ready to leave, you're high and dry.
Towboat USA.
They're not going. You can try, but you'll have to wait. If you want to anchor your boat up there, a lot of people will invest in a second anchor, yada yada yada. Well,
Right.
just drop your anchor way off the sandbar
Good
and
advice.
take a line off your stern, because if you put your stern out there, the other boats going by are going to create waves,
Right.
and they're going to come over the stern, the transom, and you're going to have a boat full of water. So tie, anchor it out, anchor it well, and then take your stern line and walk it up on the shore. And why are you going to invest in a big old anchor to be there on dry land? Get yourself those pet stakes or tent stakes or something you
Mhm.
screw into the ground. Take a big stick with you and it's just screw that thing down there into the sandbar and tie it off. It will be there. And you're better off. And it's cheap.
Yes.
Anchors are expensive. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's your little tip for the day. Now, coming home last night,
Yeah. Yeah. There was
Mhm.
we
quite
got
a few.
on 258
wrecks.
coming off the airport road, AKA NC 111 and AKA, what's the official name for it? Catherine Lake Road.
That's where I used to live.
Yeah. So anyway, we got on 258, didn't go very far. And I started seeing blues and reds and got closer to it. My traffic was going fine. But then got up to an intersection and there were reds and blues in the other lanes,
Yes.
plural, coming back headed towards Richlands.
Mm-hmm.
And they had actually coned off for traffic to go back towards. Okay, for a little over, it's 6 miles from that point to the bypass, not the bridge, but the overpass on 17 for the
Mhm.
business and then where you get onto the bypass, right? It's 6 miles from where that wreck was to there. 5.5 miles were 2 lanes, bumper to
Oh, my
bumper,
gosh.
and not moving. You had anybody get caught in that last night? I hope you had plenty of gasoline. I hope you weren't
See?
driving an electric vehicle.
That's something. That's something. You bring up a very good point.
So
And if I knew I'm going to be going anywhere in town, like those areas or
Mhm.
out of town, I always make sure I fill up because you never know when you're going to sit for an hour.
yeah, well,
Burn
I'm
up
sure
all
those folks, some of them may still be sitting there.
And right now, with it being cold, you like to have the engine running to,
So you
Keep
got to
it
have it
warm.
running. Yeah.
you
So
know.
anyway, I don't know. I could not do the rubbernecking because I was trying to keep from becoming part of the collisions.
Right.
I don't know how many
Right.
vehicles were involved.
Oh, rubbernecking is bad.
Then we get up to the bypass bridge, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "Oh no, I'm in the left lane
Oh
because
no.
I'm going to be turning."
Right.
And there are blues and reds again,
Yeah.
and two sets of blues and one set of reds, and one set of reds, and got up there and I moved over quickly. Traffic continued in one lane. There wasn't the 258 type traffic going on.
Right.
Got up there and it was a car. I don't know what kind of damage it was, if any. It was stopped in the left inside lane and 2 blue lights set behind it and 1 red light up there and with the EMS unit.
Ooh.
I don't know what was going on, but I couldn't tell whether it was damaged or not.
You know,
Again, I'm
earlier in
not
the
rubbernecking.
day-
I got things to do.
Early in the day, they had this a situation in relation to the bypass where
Yeah.
they had an accident on it, which tied up the traffic, and that was earlier in the day.
Well, I decided I needed to get on home real fast, so
Yes.
I got up to about 85. And
Yeah, sure you did.
I came on home and I said, we're going to park it. And I told Robbie on the way, you don't need anything, do you? She said, no.
No.
Good. So, anyway.
I understand. It's just, the traffic around this county is crazy, and there's certain times, like on a payday, I will not go out. I'm like, mm-mm. Now, I will tell you, the last couple of mornings coming here, traffic's been light. This morning, Bell Fork Road was like Bristol Motor Speedway.
Hmm.
and they were crazy.
Mhm.
They're on your bumper. They're trying to go around you. They're cutting in front of you, and they're just flying.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, because I know PD polices that road a lot. I'm
They
like,
do.
wait till y'all get right on down the road there and see what happens.
Yeah, if it and coming on towards the end of the month, folks, the police all everywhere they have a certain number of your sergeant
Right.
is going to want to see your tickets and make sure you're doing your job. So he's going to start counting the number of tickets that you've written during that month. And as it approaches the end of the month, if these officers do not have enough tickets, they're going to be out there looking. I'm kidding. There is no quota with
But
police
people will
officers.
swear there is.
There is. Well, the only quota is they get to write as many tickets as they want. That's the good thing. Anywho, okay, back to normal stuff. A Jacksonville man should remain behind bars for the rest of his natural life for a murder he committed 3 years ago. The victim, Jonathan O'Neill, was dropped off at the emergency room about 6 p.m. on November 2nd, 2021. He was suffering from a gunshot wound. He died later that night. Oslo Sheriff's deputies arrested 51-year-old Aaron Burdell Watkins, whose address at the time was listed as on the Blue Creek Road. After a 6-week trial, I did not going on in court. 6 weeks of trial in Superior Court, Watkins was found guilty of 1 count of murder, 1 count of robbery with a dangerous weapon, 1 count of possession of a firearm by a felon, and 1 count of being an habitual felon. Yeah. He was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole on the murder charge. At this time, under current laws, he'll be in prison until he dies. As we've seen in some other states, that same sentence has been changed by liberal district attorneys. I don't think they could do that in North Carolina. I hope not. We'll have the district attorney in here soon, and we'll find out. There's always the possibility, though, that a left-leaning legislature, that's why it's really important to check out who you're voting for. If you're voting for twinkle toes out there, you got to be careful. If they lean to the left, you got to be really careful because they could come up and decide that's cruel and unusual punishment, and that could actually free a lot of people who have been sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Depends upon how they write these new laws and if they withstand the test of the courts. Not likely, not here in North Carolina, not at least in my lifetime, but never say never. On the other charges, Watkins was sentenced to an additional 12 to 15 years. Back in 2021, the sheriff's investigation showed that Watkins shot O'Neill during a confrontation in a home on the Blue Creek Road. Didn't say which home. The report also showed that Watkins and a female dropped the victim off at the hospital and took off. Watkins was arrested the next day. His history with law enforcement and the courts dates back to the 1990s. He has numerous convictions for felony drug possession and sale, possession of a gun as a felon, multiple counts of it, multiple convictions, larceny, breaking into cars, possession of stolen property, and there's plenty more to go around. I quit making notes of it at that time. Many of his sentences were suspended. Do we understand what I said? When you get repeat offenses and convictions for possession of a gun by a felon, why are you still walking the streets? He was released from prison less than a year before killing O'Neill. Welcome to the judicial system.
You know what I found very appalling in
And
this
they want
whole,
to take my guns.
this whole thing is like when the other guy got shot, the shooter and the woman that was involved in all this took him and dumped the victim off at the emergency room and left. And I'm like,
I got no part of this anymore.
Nope.
But
hey,
whatever happened.
That was appalling. I mean,
yeah, it is appalling. We'll get the DA in here so I can vent one day.
yes, there was quite a bit that.
When you look at a guy's record like this, which you're not going to find anywhere else because nobody else does that, but it's public information. It's simple to do. But when you look at and then you look at each charge, then you look at. I can just imagine if I went back and pulled the transcripts of these trials. Can you imagine how scary that would be? Being arrested for possession of a gun by a felon, guess what? They don't just go out and arrest you for that. You've done something else too. Usually drugs. And guess what he's convicted of? Possession of drugs with the intent to sell and deliver. Sale and delivery. You mix that with the felon already convicted with the gun. What do you think is going to happen one day?
Yeah.
Same thing that we see happen all the time.
We just saw it here. I didn't pull the victims. I don't normally do. It usually takes two to tango in situations like that, but I haven't pulled his record, so I don't know. The second half of the week's Marine Forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. We see news reports all the time of suicide cases. No, we don't, because news people don't talk about them. There's something of an unwritten rule that unless a suicide involves a public figure or some other situation that producers deem the case is newsworthy, you will not see it on the evening news. Coming from the news business, I understand that to a certain point. Trying to protect the families.
Right.
But is that what we're doing to the detriment of what else is happening? Do you think if it was publicized more? I mean, we cover murders. Is there a stigma that's attached to the families of the individuals who commit suicide?
I think there is a stigma sometimes.
Oh, there is a stigma attached, but there should not be.
I agree with that.
We should not be judging them.
No. Shouldn't be judging the individual that committed, for that matter.
Yeah, but if their case was put forth, even if you didn't use a name, but if their cases were put forth, the information, the details, do you think that would have an impact on other individuals? Do you think they might see themselves in what's occurring?
Not necessarily.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a shame.
Yep.
In North Carolina, on average, 4 people die of suicide every day.
Yes.
Let me do that again.
Yep.
4 people times 365 days in 1 year in North Carolina alone. That's what, 1,400 die from suicide? Most of those are veterans.
A lot of them are, yeah.
2.5 times as many veterans die from suicide as non-veterans. Comparing the number of veterans to non-veterans, the difference is even more revealing. Studies continue nationwide as we try to understand, and agencies reach out to work on the issues. At Community Prevention Services, a Jacksonville company, counselors deal with clients who reach out because they have thoughts of harming themselves. If everybody who had thoughts of harming themselves, if they did not get some, I don't want to call it treatment, but if they did not get some kind of intervention, this whole rate could be much higher, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Can you imagine how many people that your agency has saved? That's the way you got to look at it. That's the way it needs to be looked at. How many more would go over the edge if they did not have some sort of intervention like you guys offer at Community Prevention Services? Counselors deal with clients who reach out because they have thoughts of harming themselves. It's a fact, they do. It's too bad that every person who has these thoughts, and I don't mean on an occasional situation, good, I just can't stand the rest of the day. One of these days, I'm just going to end it all. No. But if you're having these thoughts more and more often, if you feel really trapped, if your significant other is just going to say goodbye, and you say, I can't live without him or her, that's probably when you really need to see a counselor. If you're going to let some kind of an issue like that, even if you've got bill beating down your door, there are ways to, not for the counseling part, but the counseling can help you with your thoughts. But there are other avenues you can get, because all of these companies out there, creditors, they just want to sooner or later collect. They're not like the creditors of yesteryear, that beat down your door. At Community Prevention Services, our Jacksonville company, counselors reach out to their clients on a daily basis. 1 out of every 5 students, this is the other concern. Young people, very young people, students, admit they have seriously contemplated suicide.
Yep.
Do they even know what it is?
They know what it is.
Do they realize how final it is?
Let me say this, Rayford. My youngest suicidal client is 9.
Sad.
Mm-hmm.
I never ran into one that young.
He's
I've
9.
run into some young ones.
Yep.
I never ran into those who were contemplating it. I don't think I ever ran into one of those, because by the time I got there, it was over.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad.
Phew.
Yep. His is due to bullying.
Not all of these kids try. Even the 1 out of 5, a very small percentage, thank God, actually try it. But just knowing that there is something in their lives that causes them to seriously consider taking their own lives should be disturbing. It is disturbing to me.
Yep.
Just when you send me these facts and I look at them, I'm like, really? A kid 9 years old should have everything to look forward to.
I agree.
I mean, for the next 70, 80 years, they should have everything to look forward to. There's so much good stuff out here in this world.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
As parents, as grandparents, as friends, we need to know if the signs we may be seeing are indicative of something going on in their heads that needs to be addressed. How can we find that out?
Obviously, he was vocal. His parents were very proactive. But his issue is a school issue, which is why I'm very critical of how I think Onslow County Schools at times handles bullying.
Mm-hmm. So this is a bullying issue?
He goes to a local school here, and I'm incredibly critical. So I think there's a whole lot of things that need to be changed by the way Onslow County handles bullying. I've said that many times.
Yeah, but it's not just the schools.
No.
You got issues at home. You got issues with parents that are not parents.
Oh, I agree. I've dealt with that
Parents
too.
in name
Yep.
only.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We could call them the Pinos, I guess, right?
The peanuts.
Parents in name only.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Oh,
I
I
just
got a few.
thought
I got a few of those
There
too.
you go.
Yes.
I see that one coming up on your wall.
Oh, yes. I've got
See, I
parents.
can help you.
Well, there's some parents that won't put their kids on meds that they need meds. You know, I don't like to take meds. If I tell a parent, I really think we need to get with your pediatrician and get meds, I'm saying because there's a need.
Well,
Some parents will fight me on it.
I'm gonna fight some things, because I know back in the day, back in the
Mhm.
60s and 70s, Ritalin.
Oh, I hate Ritalin. Ritalin should be banned.
Here's the one. Teachers
Hmm.
were not prescribing it, but they were telling the parents,
Yes.
your kid needs to be on Ritalin. Go tell your pediatrician to put him on
I
Ritalin.
think that has caused.
That went awry very quickly.
You can see the aftermath of that with adults now that were on it
I'm
back
sure.
then. Yeah. That's
Okay.
one medicine no one should take.
The best way to know how to deal with this is to contact the counselors at Community Prevention Services.
Mhm.
Knowledge and information can be your best way of intervening before it's too late. Call the team. Give them a call today and set up a time to meet. Community Prevention Services, their number is 910-353-0972. If you haven't reached the point that you need to call them, write this number down and put it in your phone, because one day you may need it right away.
Yep.
910-353-0972. Maybe we'll put that out on Facebook again too. Okay, offshore out to 20 nautical miles. Not today. Northwesterly winds 15 to 20, gusts to 25 knots. They'll start to come down this afternoon, 10 to 15. Seas 4 to 6 feet, occasionally up to 8 feet, subsiding to 3 to 4. Thank goodness. Occasionally, maybe up to 5 this afternoon. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop in the afternoon. Tomorrow, northeasterly winds 15 to 20, gusts to 25, seas 2 to 4 feet, occasionally to 5 feet, except about 2 feet near shore. Sounds and rivers choppy. People say, well, wait a minute now, same winds different wind direction, 15 to 20, but today sees 2 to 4, or today sees 4 to 6. Tomorrow, same winds out of the northeast, 2 to 4. Why?
Because that cold front left. I don't
No,
know.
it's
Why?
because the way the coast is shaped, the
Mhm.
winds are coming around to a certain point, and it's going to be blocking from near shore.
That makes sense.
It's going to be blocking
Okay.
the wind near the beach. Now you get out there further offshore, watch out.
Mhm.
Now you understand.
Mhm.
Saturday, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, northeasterly winds 20 to 25 knots, gusts to 30 knots, seas 5 to 8 feet, occasionally to 10 feet, 3 to 5 near shore. Sounds and rivers rough.
Today, sunny, high of 51. It's going to feel so much colder because it's been warm the last couple of days. Tonight, clear, cold, low of 29. That's fireplace weather, Rayford.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, sunny, high of 55. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy. Here it's going to be 35. So I feel like it's going to be like 30 where you guys are going to be.
35.
Okay. Oh, it's going to be 35 here. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Saturday, sunny, high of 59. A little, I'm going to use the word breezy. 8 to 11 mile an hour winds with 18 mile an hour gusts. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low of 40. That's the Richlands Christmas parade.
Uh-huh.
So if you're standing out there, I really would probably suggest that you dress warmly.
Dress warmly, but you can also,
Dress in
like I've
layers.
seen there being
Mhm.
in that parade a few
Mhm.
times,
Mhm.
the people who line those streets, they'll have their little heaters out there,
Ah,
their little
blankets.
portable
Yeah.
heaters. I mean, you're close enough
I'm
to
here
your
for it.
house
Yeah.
that you can take a little electric space heater and stand around it. One year
That's
it was
true.
so cold
Oh, yeah.
that one of the guys there from Earl Jones Music School,
Mhm.
he the son of, he bought one of those heaters that you put inside, a gas powered heater. We put it in on the float with us
I'm all about
and
that.
stood around it. It was like sub freezing, but
Mhm.
on that float,
It was toasty.
it was nice. You warm your bones up. That's when you turn around a lot and just keep baking yourself all the way around. You look like you're waving at everybody.
But, well, I'll be in a warm, toasty truck, but Robin will be on the back of the truck, so he'll be cold, but I will not be. So hey,
Well,
Oh,
I
he's
thought
a
about
tough little
going
guy.
in
have to do it. Yeah.
back to the sports store. You know, you got those socks now that have little batteries.
What?
Heated
They've had those for
Heated
years.
socks?
And yeah,
Hunters have
and
had
then
them
you've
for
got
years.
the
I never
heated
even knew that
vest.
existed.
That is-
Oh,
The only
huh.
problem is you weigh an extra 50 pounds with all the batteries and then trying to get through there where if your book bag, well, you can't take a bag, but you got to have a battery in
What
every
if the
pocket.
battery socks would set off the metal detector?
Yes.
Okay. What
I
do you
just
tell
have-
them? It's
They're
my socks.
they're gonna get you're gonna get wanted either way. You might as well just give it up.
I would
Move on.
just-
I would
for all
just say
those-
it's a rod in my leg.
Yeah.
Kind of not alive.
Strap them to your
Well, I got
leg.
one, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. I got a
yeah.
whole knee, so
Yeah.
Man, they'll think we're bringing in equipment to make bombs or something. We come in with all those
I
batteries.
know. Good gracious.
And
don't
just
give
for
them any ideas. You know.
just for everyone that's going to the Cardinal game, Fayetteville Friday is a high of 54
Mhm.
and calm winds, nice and sunny. That evening will be a low of 35, which could change between now and tomorrow. but
Well,
it won't
35,
be too bad.
35 is the low overnight.
I'd rather have it 35 than 23, 29, you know, as you're
I agree
going
with
into
that.
the
I think-
evening.
Yeah, last week as we left the field, it was 23 degrees. in
Yes.
Havelock,
Yes.
but that was really cold.
I think
Right.
it's inland. It's going to be colder though. I'm telling y'all.
Well,
Because,
I'm on the
Well,
National
but
Weather Service.
35
And
in the Fayetteville forecast is 35 right now.
yeah,
But
but 35 is still cold, Ray.
that's
What are you talking
overnight. We'll be gone at 9:15, 9:30.
about?
It'll
Anything
start
below
dropping.
70 is cold.
yeah.
Bottom line. Say what you want.
You would definitely not like my house.
Oh,
It's like it's like wintertime, it's like 68, 69.
you'd sweat out at mine.
And
Lee is a homesick Eskimo. She just misses the egg
Oh,
grease.
wow.
in
I
summertime,
can't deal
it's
with
usually
that.
around 78. But I told you.
78?
Yeah. But you get used to it. I have all the ceiling fans going. It's nice and cool in there. I just paid
What is your temperature at your house during the wintertime?
In the winter,
Yeah.
I keep the downstairs heater is on right around 71.
Mm-hmm.
Is on 70 because heat rises. It gets hot up there.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. But also
That's
have
only
the,
3 degrees
but the
difference.
downstairs also have the fireplace.
Yeah.
And that'll heat up the whole downstairs.
Now, if I keep mine
Yeah.
on 68 and you're on 71, that's only 3 degrees.
68 is cold. You can tell a difference in cold 68. You can feel it. No. Mm-mm. Now, I got a story for you, Rayford.
Okay, let me hear it.
Do you remember back in January in Las Vegas when that guy attacked that judge? Remember he
Oh,
had
yes.
pulled it across the bench?
Yeah.
He went across the.
Well,
oh,
he
yeah.
was sentenced on Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
He got 26 to 65 years in prison for
He's gonna-
attacking her.
He's going to be a hero in prison, though. He will be the king of the roost.
He actually pled guilty, but it's called guilty but mentally ill in September to attempted murder and other charges. She testified that she feared for her life.
Well, yeah.
When
I
he
bet you
came
did.
at her, yeah.
Yeah.
He's really lucky that he didn't go across the bench going after a retired judge now in New Hanover County.
Yeah.
He was the chief district court judge,
Whoa.
Judge Charlie Rice. Under his robe
Whoa.
was a .45 automatic.
Whoa.
Yeah. So he
In his courtroom,
yeah.
he carried a gun.
Well, clearly she didn't. But
Uh-huh.
yeah. So yeah, he got 26 to 45. I'm sorry, 26 to 65 years in Nevada prison, whatever
Well,
prison.
good.
Yeah.
He'll be the hero there. He'll get all the.
They said he was off his schizophrenia meds.
Yeah, I
They might
remember
want to stay
Big
off
thing.
of him.
Mhm.
the way he just flew.
He
over
too.
that.
It's like a wrestling flying tackle or something. Yeah.
I think she ended up injuring her hand, but that was really about it.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
she went to go lean towards jump out of her chair, and his body hit her. Oh, like
And
Dad!
that clerk of court sprang in and
Yeah.
beat that guy down. And
Yeah,
they
the
was
clerk
trying to
of
deal
court
with
was the
her. That
hero.
clerk of court was a huge hero.
Yes,
Like, get
he
it,
was.
dude. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he was right on that guy before the deputies even moved. He was something else. Yeah, I'm anxious to hear what's going to happen out of this in Kentucky. It's not going to trial yet, where the sheriff of the town shot the judge.
Yeah.
But there's been
These
a
people
lot of
have
stuff.
problems.
There's been some stuff coming out.
I've seen
It's
some
all
of it.
alleged.
Mhm.
It's not proven yet. Oh, but some of the word coming out is that there was one deputy that was taking advantage of a lot of the women who were due to go to court for different offenses,
Mhm.
and they were trading out sex in the judges' chambers. And the judge was involved, and
I
the
read the
sheriff's
judge was
daughter was involved
Yeah,
somehow.
I
So,
did read that too.
oh yeah, this is. But I'm gonna tell you what, it can't be as crazy as that trial I watched out of Mississippi. I
Oh,
was
that's
telling
one you were
about.
talking about. Yeah.
The judge is like, well, y'all, we've been at this for about an hour now, and I do believe that some of these people need to go pee, so we need to go ahead and take a break. And I'm like, what did I just hear?
I would have been so appalled. I really would have.
I was
Why?
like, what?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I
Kind
had
of
a-
like what y'all do every day, isn't it?
Well,
Y'all say the
it's-
same thing.
when you're in a court,
not in a court. There's a decorum.
yes,
And I want to say about that. So I was in court a week ago for a
Right.
client, and I had to wait and waste my time, but whatever. And I was sitting there thinking, watching people in and out. That
Mhm.
so me and the girls at work have decided we want to start a side business
Uh-oh.
where we rent out clothes for people to wear to court. Because I'm here to tell you, like, if you can afford to buy the drugs you're in there for, or to get your nails done, because some
And
of them
your
have their nails and
shoes,
hair
you
done.
know,
I don't even do my
yes.
nails, but they dress pajamas, slippers. One guy had his pants down, showing his nice blue underwear because he's sagging, but under his butt. I'm talking
I
about how
don't-
you walk like that.
I'm gonna
like,
tell you what, you just haven't been in some of the courtrooms that I've been in,
Mhm.
because the judge will not allow you to be there.
I hear you.
You will be one and done. You will
Hardison
go away,
was good for
get
that.
out of this
Yeah.
courtroom.
Judge
That's-
Strickland.
Oh,
Judge
I would not
Strickland,
do-
if you
I
showed
would do-
up for jury duty
Mm.
and you have to be vetted and everything, and if
Mm.
you walked into his courtroom and you were wearing blue jeans or a t-shirt, he had a deputy escort you home to change.
Well, they need that again, because I'll tell you what,
Yes.
I was sitting there thinking,
Mm-mm-mm.
you will dress up to go to the club.
yes.
You will dress up to whatever, but you're coming to something like, and you wonder why. I mean, appearances do matter. They just do. And I think sometimes, while I don't agree with it, people are judged by their looks a lot of times.
Right.
Some like court. I mean, I don't know what these
Well,
people
I
are in
don't care
there
how they're,
for.
whether they're judged for that or not, but just,
It's
you're dissing
decorum.
you're dissing the court system.
And yourself
Exactly.
to a
Very
degree.
disrespectful.
I mean, I was sitting there and I started taking notes, and one of the other people at work had to go the next day for a case. So we all got together and we're like, we're going to rent out outfits. Like, well, $5, less than a cost of a McDonald's meal. To someone could make a fortune doing this because it was absolutely unbelievable.
Well, you know what? Instead of having a food truck, you could have a clothing
truck. Just
right
pull
there in
right
the
up
back
there in the
parking lot.
And just a roped off area with some blinds around.
And little changing it. Like, what? I just thought what is wrong with people? Like, seriously.
You grew up like I grew up.
Oh, my mama taught me you go to court like you going to church.
Well,
now, granted, that's
changed too.
Because church, you can go see people.
Have you been to a funeral lately?
Yeah.
I've seen that too.
I've seen, like, during the summer months when I go to attend a service, people walking in and out with cut off jean shorts and flip flops.
It's appalling.
And T-shirts, and I'm like,
I was raised way better than that.
a little respect.
I agree. I absolutely.
I mean,
agree.
I can understand if you're wearing a pair of jeans and you're wearing them nicely, have a nice top and some nice shoes, but you come in there with the pants sagging down your backside.
The pants sagging thing bugs me.
Big
so
old
bad.
holes in the jeans.
It just bugs me so bad. And
your underwear will remain invisible.
Yeah,
invisible.
I don't want to see your underwear. I just don't want to see it. Like, I've never.
I thought we finally got past that.
Well, no, apparently it's a thing again.
Good.
Yeah.
There needs to be a judicial decorum period, and maybe the
judges code for court.
Maybe the judges and the clerk of court and the sheriff.
Write that down as another question for Ernie.
Yeah, like, can't y'all? I think that's a judge issue. Like, the judges set the rules,
but he can talk to the judge,
the chief judge.
Yeah,
something's going on.
So y'all need to set like I'm in court a lot with clients. The last 2 or 3 times I've been is the worst. I've seen it in a while. It's like we kind of did good for a while, and then we kind of went back. But last week I just can't.
Maybe we could get our retired clerk of court, Lisa Brown.
Yeah, to come in here and say, what can...
Yes, that would be great.
How have things changed during while you were on in the clerk of court's office as the clerk of court, and for the 35 years preceding that?
Right. Yeah.
She started when she was 4, I think.
Yeah, she did such a great job.
But, how have things changed as far as...
Let me throw this one at you.
The clothing.
You're going to like this. Yeah. District court, you cannot bring your cell phone into the court building. You can't even get up to the, yes, you're not allowed to bring your phone into court, in district court with you. And, like, let's say you have evidence, you got a case, you got evidence. Your lawyer has to get the judge to sign the order, and you have to produce it when you come up, whatever. Do you know in Superior Court you can bring your phone in the courthouse? I
had no idea you cannot bring a phone into the courtroom.
Yes, they'll turn you around when you first go through where the deputies are for the security. They make you, there's a sign on the door, go put it back in your car. Yeah, you cannot bring your phone in district court. That's been a couple of years.
Really?
But Superior Court, you can. Tell me how much, and that's like a higher level court.
Well, it's the next level up.
Yeah.
But well, I did not know that.
Yes. I was shocked because I had to do a Superior Court case, and the lawyer said, yeah, you can bring your phone. I'm like, what? While I was sitting there waiting, I was doing emails, texting,
shopping.
Yeah, I did shop. I will admit.
I noticed you did.
While I was sitting, not during the case going on, but while we were waiting, you have to get there early.
Well, while you were up on the witness stand, it's just not the place to be doing that.
No, I would never do that. But
no.
But I mean, I'm just thinking, like, what if somebody, there's always that one person that don't put your phone on silent. And, I mean, I would think a judge would flip out about that. I haven't seen it, but
I had hired a former NBC field reporter, as my anchor in Wilmington. And we were watching President Bush at the time. He was doing one of their big conferences, like the press briefing, but he was doing the briefing.
Yeah.
And Bush had a rule. You better have your phones on silent.
Yeah.
Don't get on your phone, period. I want to hear it. And while he was waiting for the question to be asked by one of the reporters, somebody's phone went off in the room. And Hanchett was my anchor. And he said, uh-oh, somebody didn't get the word. And the room got very quiet. And Bush looked around. I saw him look to his left and looked to his right. And I said, what are you talking about, Jim? And he said, he doesn't allow cell phones in there unless they're completely muted. You better not have it vibrating because he can hear it.
Oh, wow.
He can hear it across the room.
Well, it's
Turn it off is the best bet. And he said, now that reporter will not be back for 6 months.
Well, what's bad too is a lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize is like before we come on air, 9 out of 10 times I remember to mute my phone.
Yeah, I do.
It's
I had
Miller
to-
time.
Yeah.
But the problem is if you're scrolling through, like I scroll through to Facebook to check and make sure
Yeah.
everything's good. If I don't mute a page like our Facebook, if I get on
Something
Facebook,
else pops up.
No,
if
the
I don't-
sound.
the sound
Yeah,
pops
I know what
up.
she's talking about. Yeah, she's right
Miller
about that.
time. Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, I know. It's happened to me a lot. Like,
Okay, are you ready?
Yes,
You
I'm ready.
Ready to sing the fight song? Do, 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 do.
Do, 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 do.
Okay, I got one question for you, Chris.
What's your question?
First of all, this is Chris Miller, folks, from the Jacksonville Daily News. He is the sports editor.
That's right.
Now, Chris, last week at the game in Havelock, I was appalled, but I understand that the fight song, the Jacksonville fight song, is the same tune
No. Mm-mm.
as other fight songs.
They were
across the
doing
nation.
that on purpose. They were doing that on
Because
purpose.
I heard the Rams band start playing it several times.
I think everybody has the same fight song, don't they?
I've never known another school locally, but I think that was all psychological.
Well,
They
it
were
didn't
trying
work.
to freak all of us Cardinals out. We were like, because I thought it was our band
Yeah.
until you told me no, it's Havelock, and I'm why are they playing our song?
Well, have y'all given any thought that maybe it was Havelock's fight song and Jacksonville took it?
No,
No.
no.
That's not possible. We had it a long time before Havelock was born because I was here.
Well, I will say this: it is very interesting, and a lot of the bands and the students, the students that do the bands and the band directors, they work hard, and they work hard for the halftime shows and their competitions and things like that. But it is very interesting. Certain fight songs. You have Southwest Oslo has the Magnificent Seven
Right.
theme song, which I always thought was pretty cool. Yeah, you just have different ones, and then of course some schools try to use the Notre Dame fight song. It is very interesting how some schools do their rendition of the national anthem, and
Yes.
Yeah.
you're just thinking sometimes that based on the way some people sing and do the national anthem and play the national anthem. You're thinking maybe the Star Spangled Banner was written by Francis Scott Off-Key.
I will say Havelock did a fabulous job on it last
Oh, they
week.
did. Great
They
job.
did a great job.
Now, the one thing that would have been great last week, in addition to the score, the one thing that would have been great is to have the two bands on the field, both of them playing the same fight song. That would have been a battle of the bands.
They
for
were
sure.
trying to mess us up. It was a planned thing.
All right. You've had late word from the Cards. Are they primed? They prepped? Are they ready to go? They have anything sneaky that they don't want to reveal to us, and we would not reveal it to the opposition?
No, we won't tell her. Go ahead and tell us.
Yeah, they're going to do a whole bunch of trick plays. They're going to, they're going to do a whole bunch of trick plays and a lot of gimmicks. And they're just hoping and praying that they're going to even make the game. No, I'm just kidding. They're excited. They're looking forward to it. I went by practice and talked to a few of the guys and the coach on Monday. You try to get that stuff kind of taken care of early in the week because the later in the week goes, the coaches are more serious, the players are more focused. So you try to get all the media stuff kind of done early in the week, so you can let the team kind of do their thing throughout the rest of the week. So I went by there Monday. They were excited. They know they're the underdogs. That 71st is the favorite. Fayetteville 71st played in the state championship game last year, so they're the reigning state runner-up.
So they lost last year, right?
Okay,
so they can lose this year too.
They could. That's why you play the games. You never know. But they have a lot of returning players from that team that went to the state final last year.
That lost.
They're very big. They're very good. But again, Jacksonville's no pushover. They're a pretty dang good football team too. So it should be a good game.
Well, it's interesting. Does anybody know where the team is going to be eating before the game
Rayford.
tomorrow? I just want to make sure that
They
they're
don't
eating
get food poisoning or anything.
they're going to be eating in a place that's safe.
Yep. Yes. We're going to
Well, I
go to
think
jail.
they'll leave at a good time, and I'm sure the parents, will treat them good, and the school will support them, as best they can, and I'm sure they'll have their fair share of things they can eat before the game, and you don't want to eat too early.
Nope.
But I'm sure they'll have a comfortable ride to Fayetteville. I mean, thankfully it's not. It's only a couple hours, so it's not like a 5-hour trip or anything.
2 hours and
that.
27 minutes.
Rayford, were you talking about Fayetteville where they were going to eat before the game?
No, us.
Oh, okay.
I want to know where we're going to eat to make
Because
sure
I'm just sitting there thinking we're going to go to jail.
No. I'm not going to sabotage them. I just want to make sure we're not going to get sabotaged.
Yeah, no, we'll be fine.
I'm going to round up some. If I could call Sheriff Thomas and let Sheriff Thomas give me about a half dozen of the inmates, and we'll let them be food testers.
I can't even.
No, Rayford, you're a little
He is.
a little curmudgeon today, aren't you?
He
No,
always
I'm
is.
out there. I'm ready to
He's
go.
always
Let's
this way.
fight. I'm ready to go.
Fight. Hey, Chris.
But I think they're if they do win, so the game is Friday night at 7:30 at 71st High School.
Mhm.
If they do win, they will play in the state championship game on Saturday, December 21st,
Ooh.
at 11 a.m. at NC State University. So
Okay.
so the state has already kind of released the times that the state
Right.
championship games would be. So Saturday at 11, hey, that's
doable.
Time. I mean, from a media's perspective, that's a perfect time.
Yes, it is. You can get back in time to write the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you file from the press box, so the media room. So that's always kind of neat to be able to be up there. But they got to take care of business. It's going to be a tough game, but if they play well, then anything can happen.
All right. Sounds like a winner. Okay. You're going up tomorrow, right? Over tomorrow.
Yep.
Now,
So I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow night.
Are you going to be eating on your way over?
Yeah, my family, my wife, and our 11-year-old they're actually going to be coming up with me.
Yay.
So they've not gone to a high school football game this season. So
Nice.
they're going to come with me. We're going to stop and find something to eat, and then I'll be on the sideline and doing my thing. They'll probably find a spot in the bleachers. We kind of worked it out where I could get them in. So I use my connections to get them in.
Very
So
good.
Well, you can find us. You'll know where we'll
Yeah,
be.
you know where we're always at.
You'll be in the hot chocolate line.
No, I'm going to have hot chocolate and the car, but that's for after the game.
Right.
Because when it turns cold and on the way home, we have some hot chocolate. Since they won't let me have it in the stands,
I'm telling you, they've got our pictures posted everywhere now.
we'll get me a bladder for next year, special one.
Chris, I have a question, not in reference to Jacksonville High. Southwest, I understand the football coach resigned.
Yeah, Charlie Dempsey announced a few days ago that he was going to step down as head football coach at Southwest High School, and so he's going to remain a teacher until the end of the before Christmas break, and then come January he'll take over a new job outside of education, outside of coaching.
Well,
He said it's something he has been meaning to do for a while, and that
good for him.
He went to school for, so he went to college for at ECU. So just with anybody, it's you're ready for a new chapter in your life. You're ready for a new adventure and a challenge. So he just said it was the perfect time to do that. So we wish him the best of luck, and now Southwest will be finding a new football coach.
Yep.
Well, at least they got some time. No. Because if I was at Southwest and we came time to play the Jacksonville, then I would say, okay, let's surrender.
Well, put Chris
Wave the
Rayner
white
out
flag.
there. You can put Chris Rayner out there.
They will find they'll do a great job of finding a coach. Some people seem to think that they'll keep it in house and maybe elevate an assistant coach. But they may find somebody outside. So it's going to be very interesting that search. But I would I would suspect that they'll wait and name somebody until after the holidays. And,
Right. Well, I
January.
imagine.
So
Sure.
we'll see how it goes.
Are there any rules about one team like Southwest? They can't steal a coach from like Jacksonville by any chance? Or do we have any written rules about that? If not, we
It's
need.
unwritten rules.
No, we
No,
don't have that.
there's really not, because there was an interesting situation where last week one of the Havelock assistant football coaches was named head coach at Pamlico. Now, he had ties to Jacksonville. Well, he used to be at Jacksonville before he went to Havelock, but he was named head coach at Pamlico High School last week, as while he was still helping the Rams, Havelock Rams, prepare for their game Friday. So there's no rules, but I mean, there's a a lot of these coaches respect each other, so they'll go, hey, look, I'm very interested in your assistant coach. I like to give them a buzz and see if there's so there's a lot of communication that way. But in situations like that, the assistant coach will still continue to help out with the team that they're currently with until the end of the season, and then they'll turn their focus on their new job. So I suspect that if anything like that would happen, that's what will happen there.
Okay. Just want to make sure they don't come in there trying to raid the cards.
Well, those guys work hard. Coach Bo Williams, head coach Bo Williams,
Yep.
and his staff do a great job and
Does a
prepare the
great
kids.
job.
They'll have the kids. They'll have the players prepared Friday night, and they'll play hard. And like I said, it's just Danville 71st is a really good team, so it's going to be a tough game. And but we will definitely see what happens on Friday.
Okay. We'll be up there cheering. Have your wife and your 11-year-old come on up if they want to join us, and I'll try to keep my wife and Lee under control.
Yeah, she probably already thinks if Chris has said anything, we're bad influences anyway. Trying to sneak all this stuff in, trying to do this. Not that we have, we just talk the
That
talk.
anybody's caught us with it.
Yeah. And we've never been
Well, I'm not
caught.
concerned about all the booing that y'all make. You guys have a tendency to boo the kids and to boo the coaches
No,
and throw
we don't
stuff
do
on the field and and
just
rumor
just
has it
flags.
Not the
that
kids.
had these-
Not the kids or coaches. Maybe a referee every now and then.
That brings to mind.
They're fair game though, aren't
That brings to
Well, you
mind.
pay the money, so as long as you don't cross the line and and do insults. But yeah, I mean, people boo the referee when they think and I think that's
That brings
that's
to
just
mind.
how
That goes along with the game.
A
Come
couple
on.
of weeks ago, when we were playing at home, not this past week, the week before, I think you were there, Chris. Did you notice? And we noticed that when flags were thrown, the refs had to get together and talk about it. It's almost like they were arguing amongst themselves.
Age.
It was really strange. And then they had that one call where they were going to penalize the Cardinals, but then this other ref came up and started talking to the other refs, and then they changed the penalty. I was like, what is going on?
I wanted to see an instant replay on that one. Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that because they, I think it was a false start, and one referee, called offsides on Jacksonville because if the offensive team commits a false start, which prompts the defense to move, then that's kind of what cancels the play.
See,
But
right.
one referee didn't see the offensive guy move, but they saw the Jacksonville defender move, so he threw the flag, and the other referee came in and said, "No, this is what happened." So they, and I think he got kind of animated when he.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's what we noticed too. And I'm like going, are they fighting? And it seemed like every call after that, there was other calls.
Consultations going on.
Consultations. I go, Lord, somebody's about to go down out here. We're about to lose a ref because
I just think it'd be a good fight on. Can you imagine the coverage that would get? A fight on the field among the referees.
that would be awesome.
Keep the camera ready.
No, and everybody, being a referee, whether it's football or basketball or high school, college, whatever, it is a thankless job. You don't make a lot of money. These guys and even women are doing it because they love staying involved in the sport, and they love like I said, just staying involved in the sport. So it is a thankless job. There is some training. There's a lot of training involved. So I think for the most part, these the referees do a good job.
Oh, yeah.
There are some that that do make it about themselves, and can't help but think that the people paying the $10 to get in the game are there to see them. And those are the ones that just make it obvious.
Well, can I say there was one when he walked up the stadium? I was like, "Whoa!"
That most of them do a really good job, and like I
Yes.
said, it's a thankless job, and we just got to watch out for the ones that, like I said, that kind of that think everybody's there to see them.
Yeah. Well, the referees have a thankless job. You're right.
Oh,
But you know what?
yes.
You know what the worst job to have is that I did one time?
The chain man.
No. The worst job I ever had was they asked me to be one of 3 judges at a beauty pageant. Okay. Now let me explain to you what happens. You need to get up and leave before they make the announcement,
Yeah.
because you have just made one family happy, one contestant happy. You have ticked off everybody else.
Go work security at a dance recital.
Oh, Lord.
And then tell the moms when they go running out of the auditorium that they can't go back in and open the door while the dancers are on stage. You talk.
Yeah, but you had a gun.
I learned a lot of new things about myself and a lot of new names in the process. And I said, I will never do this
Yeah,
again.
there you go. Anyway.
Because you can't slap a mom. You just
Well,
can't.
you can. You can.
Real quick before you go, ECU's got a new football coach, head football coach.
North Carolina. University
Carolina
of North
does.
Carolina.
Yeah, well,
James
ECU
James.
also has one. Blake Harrell.
Yep. But he came in, and then I guess was the intern for a while, so he'll take over. But North Carolina Tar Heels named
Yeah, I was going to
Bill
say that one
Belichick,
next, right?
6-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's
Yeah. So he was doing TV for a while, for the last this past season or so, and was on ESPN several times, and then but he's been out of coaching just for this past year, and then he was coach of the Patriots for all those years,
Mhm.
all those great Patriot teams that won Super Bowls, and now he's going to be coaching the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, engine number 9 from Jacksonville High School going to be there. That might be a great
Yes.
combination for next year.
Mhm.
Well, I know
Well,
a lot of the other
Well,
colleges are already saying we're not going to let his status scare us. We're not going to let him.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
if
you
you
should
have to,
because he's smart.
if you have to tell somebody you're not going to let his status scare you, you're
Yeah.
already scared.
Yeah.
So you have concerns.
Well,
All
I
right.
did joke because we heard last week that Belichick and UNC were talking, so probably
Yes, I remember.
middle of
that.
last week. So when June, when Dame and June had that big game last week against
Oh, wow.
Havelock, at the end of the game, I joked with him. I said, "Hey, that must have been because he signed to play for the Tar Heels last week." And I joked with him. I said, "Yeah, you must have heard that Belichick will be your coach next year." So that
Yeah.
kind of gave you a little pep in your step. So he just smiled and said, "Yes, sir," and then went back to the locker room to get warm.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Well,
I can
tell you
imagine.
what, he was hot on the field last week, so he didn't need to get
Oh
warm.
man, was he?
Chris,
ever.
thank you, sir. We will see you tomorrow night. Scream and
Thanks,
holler. What are
Chris.
you going to be wearing tomorrow night so we can pick you out of the crowd?
You'll
Oh, I
see
can-
him.
Well,
pick
I'm
him
going to
out.
be wearing my heavy coat, probably toboggan again. I mean, I wish the weather would have been like it's been the last couple of days where it was nice. It was
Seriously.
a little warm. I actually had to turn on the AC for a few minutes yesterday, but you walked out of your house this morning and it was cold again. So we'll see how what the weather is tomorrow. But I figured I'll bundle up pretty good tomorrow night.
All right. What color is your toboggan?
It'll be an orange
It's
toboggan.
orange.
Yeah, I figured. Okay. If I find you a red one, I'll send it to you. Thank you, sir.
Hi,
Thank you.
Chris.
All right, you too.
Thanks.
I want to take a poll of our listeners.
I know a couple of them.
Um,
One of them's a good friend of mine.
No, I want to take a poll.
Not that kind of poll.
Oh, he's a
Okay, first.
Jasinski is his last name, but
I don't know what you're talking about, but
I don't know either. Oh,
have
we
a-
just jumped right into this. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
what I want to know is, and I've encountered this. This is why I am asking. For people out there that are wrapping Christmas gifts,
y'all are silly.
are you now switching more to gift bags? Or are you still traditionally wrapping?
I've been
I would
gift
like to know.
bags. I'm going to tell you my answer. I've been gift bags for years because I don't have any small young people to buy for. All mine are grown now. So gift bags.
So gift bags or wrapping?
gift bags.
Oh,
for
I'd
me.
like to know who is.
910-333-0139. And if you've changed, they would really
Yeah.
want to know why.
Yeah.
910-333-0139. Aren't those gift bags expensive?
I do.
You
You
get them
can
at
get
the
it at the
dollar
dollar
store.
Buy
store.
a $5 gift and put it in a $10 bag.
No, it's
No,
a
you
dollar.
get 'em at the dollar
got you
store.
for $1, and they're cute bags.
Well,
but
if you
I'm
need
just saying.
paper, I have rolls of paper
I do
that
too,
have been
but-
in my closet for probably
Faded.
8-9 years.
Or is it falling
They're
apart?
still good.
Has it been used?
No,
You ever got a present that's been wrapped in used wrapping paper?
I've gotten re-gifts.
I've used gift bags again, but never.
When I
wrapping
was delivering mail, at Christmas time, sometimes some of your patrons will give you a gift.
Mhm.
And it's usually like a coffee cup or a can of peanuts or candy or something, which is very sweet and very thoughtful of the people. Not that we're supposed to take them, but anyway, I'll never forget one time I pulled up to this one mail carrier's house. He was retired recently from the post office. His wife had left me a gift in a bag, gift bag.
Mhm.
Later on down the road, when I pulled it out of the bag, it was a coffee cup, and on the other side of it, it said, "To Mrs. Hall, Merry Christmas." She was a school teacher.
Whoops.
Oh my!
So yeah,
So did you track her down and exchange?
heck no, I just took the tag off the coffee cup and used it.
Okay, well, that'd be fun too.
Yes, but yeah.
All right, give us a call if you tell us tell Kelly what you use, whether you are using Christmas bags, shopping bags.
do you
My grandmother
re-gift?
did, and
wanna
I'm
know.
sure you regift.
I don't re-gift.
But regifting one back to the same. Did you ever get a gift that you had given to somebody before? Did you get
No.
it regifted
That's
to you?
embarrassing.
I did
Yeah.
one time
No.
from my own sister-in-law.
910-333-0139.
It was part of a bag of gifts.
As you can imagine, the Christmas season is upon us, the time of year when we like to get together, break bread, and exchange gifts. Finding just the right present gets harder as the years go by. The older we get, I'll tell you about that, the more realistic we become. The gift of planning ahead. Planning for the future is one of the most valuable gifts you can give your loved ones. Estate planning provides peace of mind, helps avoid those dreaded family conflicts, and ensures your wishes are honored during the critical times of your life. Right now, you can get a certificate that entitles the bearer to a basic North Carolina last will and testament prepared by Cheryl P. Colson under the supervision of attorney Samuel S. Popkin, valued at $300, but you can get it for $100. Do it now. All documents can be securely filed with the North Carolina Secretary of State, the Onslow County Clerk of Court, or the Register of Deeds as applicable. This offer does not cover complex estates or trusts. You should understand that. The original numbered certificate must be presented at the first consultation and is valid for 6 months after it's issued and is only valid for drafting and signing one will. It has no cash value and cannot be used for other legal services. For additional information, call the Office of Samuel Popkin, Attorney at Law, 90347-0100 or 252-647-6016. That's 252-647-6016 or 910-347-0100. This is a legal advertisement brought to you by Samuel S. Popkin, Attorney at Law. You and your loved ones a wonderful and joy. Okay, 910-3139, number to call. Have you ever gotten a gift that was regifted to you that you had given to either the person that regifted it to you or perhaps to somebody else that they had given it to a couple of years earlier?
And do you wrap presents or do you use
Put
gift
them in
bags?
gift bags. My grandmother was probably the first gift bag user I ever met because she saved all of her little shopping bags. They were brown paper bags in those days.
Right.
And she saved them for Christmas. And she put, getting the staples out were a pain. She would put the gifts in it for all the grandchildren, the great grandchildren, yada, yada,
Right.
yada. She'd put them in a bag, socks and underwear generally. And it's embarrassing to get your female cousin's gift bag. Then you got to go get it all straightened out.
Well, I also
And then the
save
staple-
gift
it's just
bags that somebody gives me with a
Yeah.
gift in it. I save those to
Yes,
use
and when you guys
tomorrow on
do a gift bag like that, please don't write on the gift bag
No,
itself.
don't do it. We
It's
have
hard to get that
recycle.
stuff off.
Unless you put a sticky on there, like a label or something, and hope they don't go peeling it off.
What's the worst gift that you've ever gotten?
Worst gift I've
And what's
ever
the worst
gotten?
gift you've ever gotten? Or what's the most memorable gift you've ever gotten?
I can't think of either one. No,
You know, you say the most memorable, and this always is my number one. And this is when I was real young.
Mhm.
And my mother, she loved to sew. That's where I get my sewing is from her. And I'll never forget the year that I opened a gift, and she had made me slips, half slips, and other lingerie type and pajamas. And she had actually sewed them on her
Wow.
sewing machine. And that was one of my gifts. And that meant more to me than anything in the world. And when somebody asked me, what was your favorite gift through the years or most
That was
memorable?
it.
That was it. My
Comes to
mama.
mind in a hurry.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just like being together.
I do
That's
too.
what I remember more than anything else.
I like having family
Because
together,
we always gathered at
eating
my
and
grandparents' house. And I mean,
giggling and
and when they had 8 kids,
right.
you could imagine the grandkids, the grandkids. I mean, it was a
Right.
whole heap of people that showed up.
That's what makes it fun, though.
Mhm.
That's what makes it
You ate in
Good.
shifts.
yeah.
First, the men folk.
Right.
ate.
Mhm.
Wow.
I mean, that
What?
was a standard procedure.
Oh wow.
The
No, I
men
never
folk
had all
ate,
that.
then the women folk ate,
Oh heck no.
then the kids ate.
I'm glad
Yeah.
things have changed.
because that's not how it was at my
I sit there and cook all day long, and then I have to wait for the men to eat. No, that's not working.
Heck no.
Tell it, Kat.
You are feminists. The women of
I'm
yesteryear
not a
were
feminist, but I'm not second to anybody either.
It's I'm cooking it, and I'm the one preparing
Bottom
it, and
line.
I'm the one that having to wash all the. You better believe I'm going to be in that group that eats first.
Yeah.
Y'all can do what you want to do. Because if I sit down after doing all that, it's over with. I'll be like snoring somewhere.
The oh God, when I first went to Wilmington as a TV guy, we had to go out the day after Christmas for the return gifts.
Oh yeah. I
it
don't
used
do
to be a
that.
big
Yeah.
day.
Oh, that was always fun. The most memorable occasion for that was one young lady I walked up to. Got to remember the TV cameras in those days were like,
Yeah.
small bulldozers.
Yeah.
You didn't have small photographers walking
Mhm.
around. You had apes
Mhm.
carrying a big camera, a
Yes.
big recorder.
I know. I
in addition.
remember those days.
Ooh,
Yeah.
my shoulder still hurts from those
Mhm.
days.
Uh-huh.
But I walked up to the one young lady, woman, probably 25 or so, and she had a package there. She was standing in the return line,
Mhm.
and it was at Belk's in Wilmington.
Mhm.
They allowed us to come in. So I said, do you mind if I talk to you a little bit? Obviously, you've got a big light on the camera, got a microphone flag on the mic, says the TV channel. I said, yeah, come on. She said, sure. I said, you're here in the returning line. What are you returning? You trying something else? She said, no. I said, the wrong size? No. Wrong color? Well, not really. I said, why are you returning it? She pulls it out. She said, isn't this about the ugliest thing you've ever seen in your life?
Oh
Oh
wow.
my gosh.
On TV. Who gave it to you?
my.
Oh
My husband, but
gosh.
don't tell him. And I said, oh, Lord,
He's
here we go.
Yeah.
That reminds me of, and
My husband just saw that on the news lady. Like
I
yeah.
didn't watch it much this year. I've kind of gotten away from it, but Dancing with the Stars, and one of the celebrities who was wearing an ankle bracelet because she'd been convicted of fraud or something, which I think was ridiculous having her on the show. But it was like 2 or 3 weeks into the season, and she lost. They do a vote. People
She
can
got
vote.
voted off the
And she
island.
got voted
basically.
off.
Yeah.
And when they went up and asked her, well, what is the most memorable thing that you have learned from this? She just goes, not a thing.
I saw that on
Did
the
you
news.
see that?
I don't
And I
watch
was
that show,
like-
but I saw the headline about it.
It was
said she
like,
didn't learn
my
nothing.
gosh. Well,
Interesting.
dancing, I love dancing. So,
Yeah.
but I pulled away from it because, some of these things, just like The Voice and American Idol, I almost wonder if they're not manipulated
Yeah.
with their votes, because there's some strange things over the years that have happened.
Yeah, the only show that I like is the live one that we attend every year here in
Yes,
Jacksonville.
Dancing with the Stars.
Onslow Dancing with the Stars is like, it's real.
Right.
You know the people, first of
Yes.
all. By the time we get to it, we've interviewed most of the dancers. And it's just like, okay, this is cool. So it's all homey, not homey, but you know, it's
Right.
just like,
It was a lot of fun.
yeah.
And a lot of hard
I
work
love
was
those.
put into all the people that were involved in it, the
Mhm.
dancers, the people with the actual people that put on the show,
Mhm.
the contributions to the Women's Center. It was fantastic. It really was.
Got to thank the Crystal Coast Women's Center for inviting me since I was the
Yes.
husband of one of
More,
the
that's a
ladies there.
that's
That was,
huge.
it was nice last
It's
night. We went to
huge.
Mike's Farm and I ate twice.
Did you have hot chocolate while you were there?
No, it was
Okay, just
900
checking.
degrees and
Just checking.
raining. I had hot chocolate when I got home.
There
I've
you
already
go.
had hot chocolate this morning.
Hey, I think we need to congratulate retired now Lieutenant Philip Williams
Uh-huh.
from the
Mhm.
Jacksonville Public Safety Office.
Mhm.
He just recently
cop.
retired. I kind of think that maybe he's going to wish that he had stayed a cop when he starts, because you know he's elected now on the Board of Education,
Yes.
and you know how some of those meetings used to get in the back.
Understand
You
one
might
thing.
wanna
wish he
You
still
just-
had-
he's retired, but
Right.
if he so chooses and said
just
chief
messing.
so chooses, they
Right.
could make him a reserve officer,
Yes.
which he has still the same arrest powers.
Yes, yeah, I was just
That
kidding.
would be the smart thing
But
to do.
congratulations, he's been on our show here.
Mhm.
Philip's a great guy.
Yes,
He's a
he
nice
is
guy.
great guy. But congratulations on your retirement.
And you know, when you get a guy that size, generally you don't see people want to buck up to them too much either. So
Tall.
that's how when you got defendants who are you got bad guys who are having to look up at you, they're easier to hit.
Who was that one? That one officer we always saw at the Jacksonville game standing outside. I think he said he
he's
was
6'6".
7 foot.
Nah,
Did he? Well, I guess you were joking at the time. We were like,
we
yeah,
call him too tall.
he was tall.
Hmm.
He
Young
said
man.
he's 6'7" or 6'8" or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And I'm like, holy.
910-333-0139. Give us a call. Want to chat? Now's your time. The
That's
phone
right.
lines are open. They won't be that way for very long, about 44 minutes.
They're scared to tell us what they think
I
about
don't-
regifting. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know. And I have
Y'all-
to leave early because I got a client coming in early because they got
Y'all-
a doctor appointment. So I
Y'all
said,
have not ever regifted. I don't buy that.
I've never, but I mean,
I-
I guess I have been. I probably just jinxed myself with what I'm about to say. I've never gotten anything that I didn't like. Does that sound weird?
I can
Maybe I just been
understand.
super lucky.
I think
I don't know.
The only thing I've ever regifted, it was when somebody gives me a big box of sweets or cookies or something that I don't normally eat, and I don't
Well, I
want them
can
to
find
go to
somebody
waste.
eat
You take out the
Yeah.
good stuff, though, right?
Yeah, like I can
No,
find somebody.
I
to
don't
eat
open it and
that.
take out all the chocolate caramel. No, I don't do that.
Oh, did yourself
The
out.
chocolate caramels are good. That's like the best
Yeah,
part right
the
there.
turtles. Oh
Ah.
man!
That's
All
like
right,
the-
somebody's raving it. Yeah, 2443. Who is that? Is that Jennifer? 2443.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
How are y'all?
I'm fine. I guarantee you've got some stories.
Well, I've got two.
Okay.
First of all, I have never, ever, ever regifted.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
If
Thank you,
I
Jennifer.
have-
Thank you.
If I have,
Excuse me.
it has slipped my recollection, but I'm 99.9% sure I have
Yeah,
never
I've never done it. Thank you. See, people don't do
But
that.
way in our early years of marriage,
Uh oh.
it wasn't. This is a birthday, so we go over to Terry's mama's house and she had fixed the cake, and we're celebrating my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And Terry's sitting there on the couch looking at the paper or whatever, and I go and open this gift, and I hold up. It was and you got to remember this was back in the 80s, early 90s. It was a shorts outfit, but it was like a jumper, but it was shorts. It was all pulled up one piece and had this big bright belt with it. And my husband looked up at me and he said, right in front of everybody, "Good God, who gave you that ugly thing?" And I looked at him and
Ooh.
I said,
Your mama.
"Well, the tag says from you."
Uh-oh.
And he had given his mama money and asked her to go get me something for
Well,
my birthday.
That'll teach him.
So, needless to say, he never, ever, ever did that again. His
Mhm.
mom could have killed him. She said, "Well, I thought it was pretty, and I would wear it just for spite, just so I could remind him every
Mhm.
time, that what he said." But at Christmas one year, I was sitting beside a family member who opened a Christmas gift that I had given another family member
Oh.
the year before. And when she turned it over, the paper, the remnants of the paper that I had wrapped it in the year before was still on the box.
So there was no way she could
Well,
say that, hey, I thought I
Oh.
liked the gift that she gave me so much. I'm giving you one too. She couldn't do that. Oh my.
Oh, my.
She never said a word. I never said a word. But I thought, well, I've been buying you gifts for several years now. This wasn't the first. If that's something you didn't like, you could have told me. But anywho,
Sometimes
but,
it's really
so
hard.
that's
I think it's hard to say, I hate the gift you gave me.
Well, sometimes it's hard getting a gift like that and you don't like it, but yet you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. I would never do that. I'd never say,
well,
know.
if
yeah, I
I
couldn't
was
do it either.
if I was going to re-gift something, which, as I say, I've never been one to return things. Whatever somebody
think I
gave
ever
me,
have.
I thought, well, they saw it as me when they got that. So I've always been happy with whatever I've gotten. But if I was going to re-gift something, I certainly wouldn't give it to somebody in my family
Right.
where there was.
Oh,
where
good
there
No,
point.
was-
I've never
Good
done
point.
that.
Yeah.
That's one gets mailed to the Eskimos up in Alaska, right?
Right. Well, I mean, you would. I don't know, but as I say, I've gotten some things before that I've thought,
Wonder what they were
doesn't make
thinking.
a lot of sense. But, okay, I'll roll with it.
Now
because
let me
that's
ask
my
you this:
personality.
the three of you, have you ever knew you had to give somebody a gift? Right? Is one of those things. Somebody you really didn't care
Right.
for, or that you gave them a gift out of spite of some sort. I don't know. Maybe you gave their
Out of
little kids
spite?
a set of
do out of
drums or
spite?
something like that.
Oh,
Just
the
to-
grandkids. Yeah, I
just to
bought them all
irritate 'em.
drums.
Ah.
And the parents were like,
So you did that.
grandmothers can do that.
Yeah,
That's what
Terry,
we do.
have you ever given somebody a gift that you really didn't care for, that you knew they would like? Ugh, I don't like that.
Yeah, I've done. I have
Ooh.
given things in the past that have had a little
Meaning,
underlying dig in it.
Mhm.
Like, oh, okay, I told you that I would prefer our child not have such and such, and
uh-oh.
you went ahead and bought it. So guess what?
That's what we
Let's see
do.
how many buzzers and zingers and bells and everything else that this little toy has, and let me get it for yours.
There you go.
Mhm.
But so I mean, nothing mean or anything like that. Just and they knew, like, oh, okay, this is payback for the singing Barney and the this.
Oh,
You know, those-
Mr. Game
those-
Show host.
Those powered
Oh.
bull horns, they don't cost very much these days. They're pretty good. You got a siren on them and everything.
Oh,
You can
yes.
give that to kids.
Yes, I have one of
Well,
those.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I know Suzanne commented on it.
That's my
But
sister.
yesterday, I started doing some of my holiday bacon. We had gone to the grocery store and I had bought all the everything. Had my list of what I wanted to make and stuff, so I can get some in the mail. But anywho, when I had been running or going through my recipe books a couple of nights ago, looking at what I was going to do, I ran across, and Rayford knows who Ma is. That's Terry's grandma, and
Yep.
everybody called her Ma. I ran across her raisin and nut cake recipe in her handwriting
Oh, wow.
on a little from the kitchen of, or a
Right.
recipe from or whatever. And so now go to the grocery store with a man that you're pushing in a wheelchair and he's pushing the cart and you're trying to hide ingredients that you're putting in the cart because I know he's going to say, well, what are you buying those raisins for? And what, but anywho, came home and I baked him that cake.
Oh, wow.
And when it came out of the oven,
He could smell it.
I put it on my cake plate and I took the recipe card and propped up in front of it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And the man pure cried. He did. He said, "Oh my gosh!" He said, "I want a piece so bad." He said, "I know it's so hot. It's going to go right straight."
Can you
out
put
the
this in the refrigerator for a little while, honey?
But
Cool it
yeah,
down.
I told him, I said, "Merry Christmas." So and it's not all about going out and
Nope.
buying. I gave our son last year for Christmas the medals that my dad had got in the Army and Navy.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Woo.
And he looked, and he called me an ugly word
Oh, really?
as he was crying in front of his kids. It wasn't a bad ugly word.
Uh-huh.
He called me a 3-letter word for a donkey.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's that's a
Let me
compliment
ask.
these days.
Mhm, mhm.
And the kids were like, "Pop's crying," and he was like, "Yeah, I'm crying. What of it?" So sometimes it's not all about
Nope,
going out and seeing how much you can spend
not at all.
and all of that. Is just giving from the heart and being grateful and thankful for what you got.
Something
And
memorable.
that's,
With meaning,
that's what
too.
it's all about.
Yeah,
Yes.
with something
Yeah.
with meaning.
But anywho, those are my two funny gift giving stories.
Okay.
Terry learned that he didn't give his mama money to go out and buy me something.
No, don't do that again. No, don't do that again. Get online and order it, and it'll come in the mail.
Yes,
That's right.
sometimes.
That's right. Well, back then you couldn't do that.
Yeah, I understand. All right.
All right. Well, y'all have a good
Yeah,
day.
you too.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Take care, Jennifer.
Bye-bye.
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 Second half of the week's marine forecasts. I mean, we're approaching the end of this week. Brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. We read very seldom about suicide cases in the newspaper, read or see it on TV. There's something of an unwritten rule in the news business that unless a suicide involves a public figure or some other situation that producers deem the case to be newsworthy, you will not see it on the evening news. In North Carolina, on average, 4 people die from suicide every day. That's about 1,400 a year. In North Carolina alone. Most of those are veterans. In fact, 2.5 times as many veterans die from suicide as non-veterans. Comparing the number of veterans to non-veterans, the difference is even more revealing. Studies continue nationwide as we try to understand and agencies reach out to work on the issues affecting veterans and also affecting the rest of us. At Community Prevention Services, a Jacksonville company, counselors deal with clients who reach out because they have thoughts of harming themselves. 1 out of every 5 students admits they have seriously contemplated suicide. Not all try, thank goodness, but just knowing that there is something in their lives that causes them to seriously consider taking their own lives should be disturbing. As parents, as grandparents, as friends, as colleagues, we need to know if the signs we may be seeing are indicative of something going on that needs to be addressed. The best way to know is to contact the counselors at Community Prevention Services. Knowledge and information can be your best way of intervening before it's too late. Give the team a call. Set up a time to meet them. Community Prevention Services at 910-353-0972, 910-353-0972. Offshore today, out to 20 nautical miles, northwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots, gusts to 25, diminishing to 10 to 15 this afternoon. Seas 4 to 6, occasionally up to 8 feet. They'll come down to 3 to 4 this afternoon. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop this afternoon. Friday, tomorrow, northeasterly winds 15 to 20, gusts to 25, seas 2 to 4 feet. Maybe you'll find a 5-foot rogue wave out there. 2 feet near shore. Sounds and rivers choppy. Saturday, northeasterly winds 20 to 25, gusts to 30, seas 5 to 8 feet. Some up to 10 feet, 3 to 5 near shore. Sounds and rivers rough.
Today, sunny, high of 51. Tonight, clear, cold, low of 29. Yikes. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 55. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 35. Saturday, sunny, high of 59 with 18-mile-an-hour gusts. Saturday night for the Richlands Christmas parade, partly cloudy, low of 40. And then on Sunday,
Christmassy.
partly sunny, high of 62. Yeah, it won't be too bad.
Yeah, that's all right. We got 2 weeks from today, and we're done. We're working on New Year's then,
Yeah.
so we'll be fine. House Judiciary Committee Chairman, I like this man, Jim Jordan, has been openly
do too.
vocal about his opinions of outgoing FBI Director Christopher Wray. Jordan says it does not matter that Wray is leaving. He's still going to haunt him. And he's going to go after him for his handling. Some people would call it his mishandling of the Bureau. Jordan is still critical of Wray's way of investigating moms and dads who show up for school board meetings. Said the FBI agents showed up at some
Yeah.
school board meetings and took a look and took notes. Is that the way a bureau is supposed to operate? Federal bureau, they don't have anything better to do than that? Something's wrong. He was also critical of Wray because he retaliated against whistleblowers who came forward to complain about the inner workings of the FBI. You got some brick agents, the ones that John Legato, our friend, retired special agent John Legato, he called brick agents the guys who actually work. They get out there, they get into the trenches, they dig, they do the investigations. They're not the political people. And he's critical of the way that Wray dealt with the whistleblowers out there who were spilling the beans about what was going on.
Yeah.
Jordan revealed that he had just learned the Bureau had agents spying on congressional staffers. Of course, as we've heard for years, Jordan blasted the way Wray and the FBI handled or mishandled the Trump investigation, especially that raid on Mar-a-Lago. The congressman emphasizes that the House Oversight Committee will continue. It ain't going to stop because Wray's gone. They're going to continue looking into the way the director ran the shop. I think that's good. I don't think it should be just because the guy's gone. He can't not hide just by resigning.
I agree.
And I will say that about Trump as well. I mean, if there's a case there, you can't do it now because he's the president-elect, will be the president for the next 4 years. But when it's over, if there's anything that's still there, if there was ever anything that was really there, in 4 years, it will still be there, and the investigation should continue. Will it? No. If it doesn't, then it obviously was a political move. I'm challenging those so-called investigators, the political hacks, those in New York, in Atlanta, those wherever. If you've got something on the president-elect, it also going to do is get worse over the next 4 years. You should have 4 years to investigate it thoroughly, shouldn't you? And if you don't do anything with it, then I know it was nothing but political BS the whole time. That's the way I will analyze
that's what
it.
it is. Ridiculous. Yeah, it's just. I got to.
Where's Theo?
I'm going to bring up something.
Weigh in on that one.
I meant to bring this up yesterday, but this was on the news, a clip where Biden was speaking at some function, and he was talking about Jill had been traveling from here to here to here to here, but she took a day to stop in Sicily because she wanted to visit her great grandparents' parents. Think
Really?
about that. Great grandparents' parents.
Okay. Well, you're there. Why not?
They would
So-
have to be 200 years old. I mean, really? It was
I assume
strange what
they're
he
talking
said.
about.
No, it's not what he said, but let's see if I can
Well,
find it.
it's him.
Uh-huh.
He's going to be gone soon, and it's okay. We'll get through it. What we got right now is we normally would be able to count on the vice president
She's
in these times in his
gone
decline.
missing.
And
Yes.
where is she? Is she doing anything? Is she doing her job whatsoever? Is she still on the payroll? Take her off the payroll. If she's not, if she's not performing, take her off the payroll. We don't need her.
I really felt sorry for Biden when he was saying all that.
I feel sorry for him every day. I mean, it's not his fault. He allowed it, but who was he to say no? He couldn't say no, that he's not going to run. It's something he wanted to do. So in 2020, he had basically a walk in the park, but only not because of how it was, but because of the anti-sentiment against Donald Trump. So it became a walk in the park for him.
Well, going back to Jill Biden, she was actually there visiting her ancestry, the village where her parents and family grew up.
Well, why didn't she wait till after the president was out of office? Because we paid for that trip.
Yeah, well, she had gone to other places too. Well, that's just like the Notre Dame Cathedral reopened over the weekend.
Sure.
And Trump was there. Jill Biden was, but where was the president or the vice president?
Well, I'm glad they weren't there.
Why
Jill
is that?
Biden represented them, and Trump was there on his own dime, the campaign's dime, anyway.
Right. Well, it was just interesting because Joe Biden has kind of, just like you don't hear much from him. He's not really doing much of anything.
I'm glad.
There's some bills laying on his desk right now. They're waiting for him to sign. But and Kamala, she went to Hawaii. That's all I can tell you. On vacation.
Did she come back?
Yes, she came back.
Why?
Well, vacation was over because we paid for that vacation.
Yeah,
we did.
She can stay as long as she wants.
True.
It'd be our last shot at it
Mm-hmm.
on our dime. So just stay there. You're not going to do anything here anyway, except get in the way of progress.
Well, see, now Jill Biden on this tour, she toured. She used a tour of the United Arab capital Thursday to praise efforts to fight cancer and call for more attention on women's health issues as part of her final solo foreign tour as First Lady. Why?
If you got nothing to offer for the future of this country, why are you doing this?
I mean, you're pretty much in a situation right now. Your husband's a lame duck. You're pretty much,
A lame duck.
A lame duck. I was trying to think of a nice way to say
Duckling.
that, but a duckling, a hen.
Mm.
But I just, why waste that money? You could do a great speech, get on national TV, do a great speech about women's health care and be done. But you're touring all these countries, which is costing us money. But yet when Trump went to Notre Dame, he went on his own private plane. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
His plane, but campaign expenses, no doubt about it. I don't know about how all that works, but they can be used for certain things.
Swatting is starting back up again a lot with a lot of our U.S. representatives and senators. Swatting. That's where somebody calls in a fake bomb threat.
Oh, yeah.
Or something at somebody's home and SWAT shows up and kind of like anything, any reason. They could come busting into your house for any reason. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, last week, somebody had emailed that she was going to be swatted. And of course, it went to the junk folder. And by the time they found it and turned it over to the FBI, it all happened in one day where
the local police got involved.
Yes. But on the way to answer the call, one of the police officers,
member of the bomb squad.
Yeah. Member of the bomb
off duty.
squad. Yes.
In her personal car.
It was involved in a traffic wreck.
Yep.
Where ended up killing a woman. But
see,
these things that come out of this when somebody wants to
well,
play
the
games,
officer should not have. First of all, if you want to go in your personal vehicle, you've got to obey all the rules. Officers have to obey the rules, speed limits, everything else. with some exceptions. They still have to allow the other person who has the right of way to have the right of way.
Mhm.
You can't just go crashing through a red light or a stop sign. You cannot
Sure.
do any of that stuff
Right.
unless you make sure it's a safe movement that you're
That's
doing.
right.
You can do it as long as you've got your blue lights and your siren on.
Well,
In
in the
North Carolina,
story,
you have to have both on.
in the story, they really didn't go into that. They just said that he was en route to.
She.
No, it's got bomb squad member David Matroka
okay.
was en route to join the
that I
bomb
read, it was a
squad at their
female.
headquarters when he crashed into the 66-year-old woman's car.
Okay, so he was going to the
Tammy
office.
Picklesimer.
Yeah.
And of course, once the police got to Green's home, they found no bomb. But you know, why do people want to do that? They put so many lives at risk over something fake.
Now, if they find this person in North Carolina, there could be additional charges.
Yeah. They could be
Okay.
charged with
Manslaughter,
manslaughter. Yes.
at least.
Yeah. Second-degree murder.
So I'd go on up the line.
Yeah.
You committed a felony by calling in that bomb threat. In the
And
commission
as a
of
result-
as a result of a felony, and somebody dies, it becomes felony murder in North Carolina.
Well, that's what North Carolina has got down on. If you supply somebody drugs and they die from those drugs,
Mhm.
now you're going to be charged
Mhm.
with homicide. So good for them.
Yep.
But
And there have been some convictions.
yes, there has
I'm
been.
just waiting for them to be some death penalty cases. Why not? If you can do this, go ahead, charge them, try them, seek the death penalty, and let's start zapping some of these people. If we can't get the federal government off the pot
Mhm.
to secure our border, then let's kill the people that are doing this.
Well,
We can execute them.
Yeah.
In North
Just-
Carolina, we could do one a day.
Well, North Carolina's got to stay right now on that. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
been a big court case and it's been years.
Since 2008 or something.
Yes. That up again. Yeah, it was all over a group. Let's see.
It's not cruel and unusual punishment. If it's more cruel than the crime that they're committing, then that's one thing to execute somebody. But I'll tell you what.
Well,
y'all-
you know, activists right now are calling for Joe Biden to clear the death penalty row.
He better not.
Yeah, they want him to clear death row before Trump takes office. It's going to be interesting to see what else he pardons.
Well,
Before he
somebody
leaves.
needs to give him some laxatives for the next 2 months, and he won't be able to do much of anything. A lot of
Oh
laxatives.
my gosh.
Had this Hershey bar. Trust me, it's okay.
Mm,
Okay, you ever heard of Albertsons grocery stores? It's a chain. I don't know whether
is that
it
in this part of
originated.
the
I don't
state?
know
Is
whether
that any relation to Charlie?
I don't know whether it originated in North Carolina or
Right.
not. I've heard of them, but I don't know.
Albertsons grocery stores.
Yeah, but anyway, they has abandoned a proposed $25 billion merger with Kroger, and has turned
Wow.
around and is suing Kroger for alleged breach of contract.
Whoa.
The termination ends a 2-year effort to combine the competitors into the largest supermarket in U.S. history, which would have controlled roughly 13% of the grocery market.
Wow.
Albertson seeks a $600 million termination fee and additional damages for legal expenses, as well as lost shareholder value. Albertsons claims Kroger failed to make sufficient efforts to secure regulatory approval for the merger, including refusing to divest enough assets and ignoring regulators' feedback. Kroger denied the claims,
Dang.
contending Albertsons isn't entitled to the termination fee because Kroger fulfilled its end of the agreement. Oh, what a bunch of stuff. Two grocery chains.
$25 billion.
Two grocery chains screaming and hollering at each other,
Right.
suing. $25 billion. Boy, there must be money in grocery. Well, I guess going to the grocery store, there is a lot of money. There's a whole lot of money. in groceries.
Albertsons Companies Incorporated is an American grocery company founded and headquartered in Boise, Idaho,
Okay.
with 2,253 stores as of the third quarter of fiscal year 2020 and 270,000 employees as of fiscal year 2019. The company is the second largest supermarket chain in North America after Kroger.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine the second largest combining with the number one?
Yes.
Talk about ruling the roost.
Oh my
They
gosh!
would be doing
I gotta
that.
find out what's the closest one to us.
Oh,
All right,
this was
let's
good.
go.
Okay. I just like for Steve, Theo, and you folks out there, the anti-Trumpers.
Mm-hmm.
President-elect Donald Trump was named Times Person of the Year
I
today.
saw that.
Recognition of his stunning political comeback and a historic year when he
Mhm.
weathered assassination attempts and felony convictions. Oh, my.
Going back on Albertsons, there's no Albertsons near Jacksonville, North Carolina,
Yeah,
so we don't.
I
Have
don't
any here.
recall one. I know there's
Either.
some Albertson, North
Yeah,
Carolina,
I
and some
saw
stuff over
that.
there.
I'm just like, wow.
That's a big chain. I'd heard of it. I just don't remember where
And
any of them are.
Fox did a Patriot Award just recently, and he was given honors there too.
Well, Fox, you would expect that
yes.
from. This is time. His transition, it's got a 47% approval rate as opposed to a 39% disapproval rate
Mhm.
for his transition.
I'm telling you,
So-
it's going to be interesting. Yeah, he got Patriot of the Year award at the Fox Awards,
Mhm.
Fox Nations Awards, and now you're talking about he got New York Times. Was it-
Trump is the second U.S. president. The first was Grover Cleveland to win
God.
non-consecutive terms
Oh,
after
yeah.
he defeated Vice President Kamala Harris. After easily clinching the Republican nomination, we knew that was going to happen. Trump expected a rematch with President Biden, but Biden was forced to drop out
Mm.
under intense pressure from Democrats after a disastrous debate performance in June. Harris quickly took his place, but went downhill. It was a
Wow.
decisive electoral victory. Wow.
I just Person of the Year for Donald Trump. Isn't that something?
This is something that I had not read this story. Bill Clinton yesterday said that President-elect Trump had won the 2024 race, his words, fair and square.
Yes. The big meme going around now is that Jill Biden actually voted for Trump.
Oh, that's stuff, yeah.
You should see the memes on it.
Well, Trump hasn't appointed her to anything yet, so I doubt
Mm-mm.
it. But Bill Clinton said he won fair and square. In 2016, Clinton still says that was an illegitimate result, that
Yeah.
he should not have won, that his wife should have won. Well, yeah, you would have thought this. I mean, he's got to go home sooner or later. He's got enough problems.
Mm. Well, Mitch McConnell fell again the other day.
Yeah, 81 years old now,
And
something like that.
Yeah.
He was on the
that's-
Senate floor, I believe, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. And he fell. He sprained his wrist. He says he's okay. But it wasn't that long ago when he was given a news conference or whatever, and he froze during the live camera news. He froze, just stopped and just stood there like a zombie. I really, and he's stepping down from his leadership post, but I think it's time for Mitch to retire and enjoy his life. He's 82, but he did have a cut on his face, did sprain his
Yeah.
wrist, but he just, sometimes you just have to know when it's time to go.
Some stuff coming out after the election now, of course. The reporters are digging for anything they can find. A number of the Kamala Harris staffers during the campaign and the people that work
yes.
for her
Was
The
it about
black
their
one-
pay?
The black ones are accusing the campaign leadership of mistreatment and outright racial discrimination.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. The New York Times published a story how alarmed Harris staffers went rogue to reach black and Latino voters.
Mm. I still say that whole campaign was poorly run.
Well,
And she really didn't have the support of the DNC that she should have had support from. And she's in debt now. Man.
it's I was, if she couldn't run a campaign any better than that, and look at the financial problems with it. Oh my
Yes.
God, that's going to
A lot
haunt
of
her
financial
forever.
problems. There's a lot of staff that said they weren't paid for what they had done and what she owed them. And
They got a female sheriff out there in San Diego County, says her office will not change its practice with immigration and customs enforcement
yeah, well, we'll see.
after the county's board of supervisors moved to further restrict that cooperation ahead of the Trump administration taking office next year. The sheriff said no, 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 and no. Sheriff Kelly Martinez office said in a statement, the board of supervisors does not set policy for this sheriff's office. The sheriff, as an independently elected official, sets the policy for the sheriff's office, and she will cooperate with customs. So she's going to go against what county wants. Too bad, county. It's
Well,
the sheriff. Sheriff's in charge.
Yeah, well, she might find herself out of a job when it comes time for reelection.
Maybe not. I think the country is turning around here. I mean, people are fed up with the way that we're
Yeah.
dealing with illegal immigrants.
Oh, I
We
agree.
are all facing the consequences of it. 111,000. The last, I'm sure, when we get the latest figures that we've got, 111,000 Americans died from overdoses. Most of those, 95,000 overdose cases due to fentanyl. Fentanyl comes across the border from Mexico.
Yeah.
100,000 people dying. If we had 100,000 Americans dying in car wrecks,
Do you think they?
we don't have that many people dying in car wrecks around this entire country every
It's
year.
true. It's true.
Somewhere in the 30,000 range.
I couldn't tell you. Could not tell you, but
That's about the average now. We don't have that many gunshot deaths. We don't have that many illegal gunshot deaths. Max intentional. We don't have that.
no, we don't. Not when you compare to the drugs.
And we got people screaming and hollering about more rules and regulations and, take the guns and do this and do that. Who is out there wanting to go after these bad guys?
I'll tell you what, it's going to be interesting what's going to happen over the next 30 days. Now we're getting close to that 30-day mark because I wonder how many people from the other side are going to help a lot of these illegals to get into
Yeah, right
caravans,
now.
buses.
And if we don't stop them now, we're not going to stop them. And it's just going to do, what it's going to do is create another big smoke screen. We're going to have all of these people we got to be chasing.
Right.
It's kind of like putting in the middle of a bunch of sheep a dog that looks like a wolf that looks like a sheep.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. How
And
many of these?
and they all scattered and do everything else, try to find the sheep.
Well, how many of these illegals that are crossing the border that the woke agenda was let them come in and let them be citizens and we'll house them and we'll pay for their food and we'll give them green cards and we'll let them register to vote. How many of these that have crossed the borders are terrorists?
You don't know.
You
have
don't
no way of
know.
knowing.
You don't know that new family that moved in down the street from you is terrorists.
We've got we got Biden still allowing, encouraging. We got Biden, his policy, the administration's policy was to fly people out of Venezuela. We fly them at our expense out of Venezuela to come unfettered. We don't know what kind of people. I do. I can tell you what kind of people they are. And Venezuela has said now, I don't care what the United States does, we're not going to accept these people back. You cannot send them back to us. Yes, we can. We don't have enough parachutes, perhaps, but you know what? They can still get off the airplane
That's right.
without us landing.
That's right.
Now, it's up to y'all.
And we're going to have another 9/11. I mean, there's a chance that we could have another 9/11 on down the road.
Yep.
And it's going to be from people inside our country.
Well, they were from outside, but now they're
Right.
inside, so they can
Exactly.
they can do all this from inside. Can you imagine? I don't know how many millions that we have. Let's just say that what was it, 4 or 5 million recently over the last year or so have come into this country. Imagine that 10% of those 4 or 5 million. How many is that? 400,000, 500,000.
Yes.
If you got 500,000, 500,000 people, and you armed them across the country from border to border to border, you armed them with nothing but box cutters and tell them to go on a spree during the Christmas shopping season,
Well,
if they're programmed to do that.
yeah. And look, they'll probably never be caught. They'll probably never be arrested. They'll probably never be jailed for it. Look at all the grab and run that they had in California, and they weren't even being
grabs, everything
smash
else,
and
yeah.
grabs. Yes,
Unless it's over a certain amount of what is it, $10,000 worth, they're not going to even investigate it.
they weren't, and they're not even charging the people.
Hmm.
How do you know some of those aren't illegal immigrants?
Well, they're financing their well-being in here in this country by stealing from other people.
Yep.
No, but really, seriously, how do we know? Do we not suspect? Do realists? Aren't there enough realists out there who will think about this? 5 million people, illegals into this country recently over the last year. If they were programmed, and we know a
Right.
bunch of them are terrorists because
Right.
the last batches have been.
We have a U.S. senator tell us that.
If 10%, only 1 out of 10 are programmed, and they start to carry out what's going on, and they start going on rampages in shopping malls, on subways,
Yep.
or wherever.
That brings to mind what's going on with the drones in New Jersey. What's going
Don't
on
know.
with that?
Don't know.
You could have 85 drones at one time out filling the skies. They said some of them were the size of buses. They sounded like Harley motorcycles. They were so loud, but yet nobody knows where they came from.
I don't know that, and I don't know what the facts are in this story. There could be some of our own stuff that's doing surveillance. We don't know.
Well, supposedly there has been a hearing started on
Yeah.
it, and the FBI has said, we don't know. Of course, what do
They
they
might
know?
not know.
Well, it's just what I'm saying. It's just, I would think if it was some type of group, like you have ham radio group,
Uh-huh.
you could have this drone group.
But they'll have small. They won't have big drones.
True. And if it was somebody, a group or something like a club, somebody would have already told by now, oh, that was us.
Yeah.
It's weird.
The ham radio guys are, by and large, the folks out there, they may want like to go out and play and stuff, but they're not subversive. We did board a boat loaded with drugs. It came into Riceville Beach.
Mhm.
And of course, they called me right away because there was a radio there.
Right.
And they said, this doesn't look like any radio we know about. But they were using it just outside one of the ham bands. It was a ham radio. And they were using that to talk to somebody on shore to let them know when they were coming in.
Wow.
So those radios can be illegally used. And there's a YouTube channel where one guy on there is promoting everything. He doesn't say the illegal use of, but he says, this is what you can do with them. And of
Uh-huh.
course, if you do it around here, the ham radio guys, we're going to track you down and we're going to probably, put a little tar and feathers on you.
Well, I took my handheld scanner and it needs to be reprogrammed. I need to take it to somebody I know who's an expert at it. But I was looking up frequencies for Onslow County. I can
Forget
sorta,
about it if you got an old one.
Yeah, no, this is a newer one. But I could get the sheriff's office and dispatch, EMS, and fire department. But when I was on there looking up, because I couldn't remember exactly the codes in my head, pretty much I remember them, but I came across Ham Radio Club and I listened to them talk.
Yeah.
I was waiting to see if I was going to hear you.
Check on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday nights.
Okay.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's not a secret thing. Tuesdays and Thursday nights is at 8 p.m. at 147.000 megs.
Yeah,
Megahertz.
that's where I was at.
That's one of the channels that we use. That's
it was
that's
in the
the club
140s.
meeting network nights,
Right.
Tuesdays and Thursdays at on 147.000. On Saturday nights,
Mhm.
it's 8 o'clock. And it's at 444.675. It's in the UHF range. You may or may not be able to get that on your scanner.
My scanner does have the U.
Okay, then
But-
then you get 444.675.
It was in the 140s because I know I
One-
set that range to scan,
147.0.
and that popped up, and I was like, "Oh, cool."
Well, why don't you just program the exact frequencies in?
Yeah,
I can give you those.
I'm going to do that, but I couldn't find my list, and I can only remember certain frequencies close to them.
Now,
It's
if
been a
yours
long
is
time.
strictly analog, then you're
No, mine's not. Mine is the other.
Okay.
It's the newer version.
well, they got a newer version.
Oh, I'm sure they do
'Cause
newer than what I have.
the one that I've got is it's defunct except for the older channels. I
Yeah,
even
well,
got
that's
it.
all
I
I'm
even
getting.
got it updated, but it doesn't work reliably.
yeah, I tried to go online to update mine, and it just became too much of a problem. I said, whatever.
All right, guys,
Oh my
and
gosh.
we will see you tonight.
Tomorrow.
Don't look for the network tonight because we're not doing the network tonight.
Okay.
We're all in a Skywarn spotter
Oh,
class tonight.
oh, neat.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a spotter for what? Weather?
Weather. National
I
Weather Service is
See,
coming down.
I've always been a geek. If I could do my career all over with, I'd want to be a meteorologist.
You'd be a weather girl.
No, I don't want to be on TV being a weather girl. I want to just, be in the big room, in the big house.
But if you're on TV, you could be wrong 50% of the time and get a raise.
I know, and still have a job. Well, I'd like to chase storms too.
Well, you can do that.
Yeah, like a hurricane or something.
No.
Yeah. Why
Okay,
not?
we'll see you tomorrow, Friday. It is Cardinal Day,
Cardinal
so
Day.
we'll be talking about it. I'm not sure. We need to get somebody else in here. Talk about some other serious stuff too.
Yes, we're working on that right now because
Okay.
I've made contact with two. You were going to make contact with one.
Yeah, well,
So,
I got a couple of them in mind, but it's probably not going to be this week.
right.
So, if you want to reach out and see what you can get,
Yes, I will.
Get a couple
We
of
were supposed to
fine
have
people in here.
Commissioner's Corner today, but that's been postponed to Tuesdays.
Yeah, they're out there snoozing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the chairman actually has spent the week taking care of his mother, so I'll excuse him. He gets a pass. Moms come first.
Well, I agree with that. Family first.
That's right.
Always family first. We'll see you in the morning, and it will be Cardinal Day.
Yes,
Wear your red just for us.
that's right. Wear your red. Join us.
All right. We'll see you in the morning. You're live and local Real Talk right here on our Facebook and our YouTube channels, and soon to be on internet radio as soon as I can find a smart fifth grader, anybody smarter than me that knows how to do software. And I'm talking about taking the software that I've got and making it all work together. So if anybody knows somebody who can do that, they got to speak geek, and then they have to translate it to me.
Okay.
Geek to Brown.
Geek to Brown.
Yeah. I didn't say Greek, Theo. I said geek.
Well, it is Greek.
No, it's not.
Trying
Greek,
to figure that stuff
Greek
out.
can be understood.
Jesus.
Geek cannot be
Lord.
understood. It's an unwritten language, just like the Navajo language, never written down. We'll see you in the morning. Have a great day.